Right, welcome everybody to the live today. We are going to be showing this Brother LX3817 and how to use all the special feet, which will be fun. And if you have any sewing questions, feel free to ask. I would be happy to answer all your questions. We're just still getting set up here, so welcome. Welcome, welcome. Again, we're just getting set up here. We're going to be showing the Brother LX38. Again, we're just kind of getting set up right now. We're going to show the feet, all the special feet that this machine does, and how to use this machine. It's a great little machine. So, here we go. Okay. All right. And just, again, getting set up. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We're going to be showing the Brother LX3817 today. And today I'm going to show you the standard feet that come with this machine, how to change the feet, how to use them. We're going to see everything about this great little machine. I got this for about $88, just under $90, and it's a really great little machine. I'm really happy with it. I've been showing some tutorials on how to thread it and everything, so I thought this is a perfect time. Let's show the feet that come with it. So let me just adjust my camera a little bit here so we can see it really clearly. All right, so this is the standard foot that comes with this machine. And it comes with, it'll come loaded with this machine. And it comes with these other feet. We have this one, and this one. This is the weirdest looking one, I think. But I'm going to show you how to use all these and what they're good for and how to get the most use out of your little Brother machine here. And so the first step is, let's remove this standard foot that comes with it. And the way I found that's best to do this is behind here, there's this little lever. This is how you're going to lift the foot up and down. What I like to do is drop the foot down, hold it on the front and the back with my finger, and then lift the lever back up. And that takes the foot off, just like that. Pops right off. So that's the standard foot. And what we'll do first is I'll show you the buttonhole foot. It's really nice that this machine comes with this. You'll see it has an A. The A will go towards the back, and then that metal bar there is what you're going to line up with right there. And so the slides as you sew, but we're going to do it like this. We're going to put it right under here. Make sure your thread's not caught up in there. And just right on that metal bar, you're going to push down. Then you can let go of it and pull it back up. Now your zipper foot's on here. And what I like to do is, if I'm going to do not a zipper foot, a buttonhole. So what I'm going to do here is thread the thread underneath. I like that look for sewing buttonholes best. I don't like the top thread to be sticking out the top there. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment. I would love to answer any questions you have about this machine, or any sewing questions you have. I'd be happy to answer your questions. So feel free to just chat as we go and ask any questions you'd like. All right, so there is the zipper foot put on. I'm sorry, I keep calling it a zipper foot, the buttonhole foot. There's the buttonhole foot. So on this piece of fabric here, I'm going to show you how to do a buttonhole. This is my sample button that I'll be using. So basically what you're going to do is find the size of your button. And so the easiest way to do this, you're going to find where on the fabric that you want your buttonhole to be. So we're just going to say this is where I want my buttonhole to be. So I'm just going to mark two sides, and then with a ruler, I'm going to draw a straight line. So let me do that so that you can see here. So there's my straight line. And then just so I can see it better, I'm going to draw what is basically an eye like that. So these are my start and stop points for my buttonhole. All right, so let me move this a little bit this way so you can see better. Excuse me. The buttonhole guide is this number 1 here. Slide it over here so you can see it clearer. And the middle one here is actually what you're going to start with. If you notice here, it says A and C, and then that says B, and that says D. So we're going to start with A, then we're going to crank it to B, then we're going to go to C, which is this one down here, and then to D. So that's kind of the movements we're going to be doing over here. On this side, we want to make sure that this foot is pushed all the way back. You want it to start all the way that way. And we're going to start on the front. So I'm going to start with this one on A. So what I'm going to do here is line up the foot so I can see that line in this hole here. It's kind of hard for you to see. Let's see if I can get this a little bit better here for you. So in that little window there, make sure that my foot again is pushed all the way back. And I'm going to line up so I get that line right even with these first red marks here. Just like that. Then make sure my machine is set to the A on the wheel over here. And then we're going to just sew. And you can see it's doing a wide zigzag and it's not moving forward or back. It's just going right on top of each other. Then make sure your needle is all the way to the top using the hand crank on the side of the machine all the way up. Then we're going to move this to B. Click it right over. And now as I sew, I'm going to be watching my draw line so I know when to stop. And it's going to move backwards. All right. Again, crank the wheel so that the needle's all the way to the top. Then we're going to go back. Now we're on C. And we're going to sew again, and you'll see that it's not moving. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There you go. Just like that. Crank the wheel so that the needle is all the way to the top. Then we're going to do D. Just like that. And we're going to sew all the way back to that starting spot. There we go. One more stitch all the way to the top. And now, as we remove it, there you go. You can see that we have a perfect buttonhole here. So the way I like to cut buttonholes open is I like to pin right here so that you don't cut past. And then I like to use a seam ripper. That's the best way I've found to do this. So if I poke through here in the center and I push, you see that when I hit the pin, it stops so I don't cut through that there. And then you can do that on the other side. Just kind of pin right before, like that. And then I'm going to dig in and just push this forward. There we go. Just like that. That way, I have my opened buttonhole. Let's see if I can show you. It gives us a really nice buttonhole. All this needs to be trimmed, but that gives you really great, very easy to do, easy to just measure your button and just do that. And so here's my button so you can see how it just fits right through there. You want it a little bit tight. There you go. So now let's remove this foot. So again, we're going to drop down, hold it down, and then lift up just like that. See, so anyone just joining, so you can see we're working on the Brother LX3817. I'm going to show you how to use all these feet that come with it. It's such a great machine for the price, just under $90, and it comes with all these special feet. It's really great, really a great deal. If you're looking to upgrade a very old machine that doesn't have zigzags, this is such a great machine for you. Okay. So now we removed that foot. So now, welcome everybody. Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining us today. Now let's look at this really weird looking foot. This I kind of laughed when I saw it. It looks really weird, but once you see what it does, you're going to really like it. Oh, you have this machine. Okay, well, let's see if we can solve some of the problems where it's not working for you. So this is called the button foot. This is going to help you sew buttons using the machine. I usually hand sew buttons, but I never really had a foot like this that came with my machines. It's really awesome. You can see on this side, let's see if I can get it to shine. It's got these little rubber grooves that'll hold the button in place. So this foot, it's going to go on the machine like this. See this metal bar? That's where you're going to line it up. Let's move it a little closer here so you can see. So that blue part is going to come onto the front and just drop it down to pick up this foot. And then those little grippies are going to hold the button in place. So let's get our fabric ready. And let me get my button. And so what we're going to do with this one is we're going to find the correct zigzag width to sew in between those two holes there. So you're going to use the side hand crank quite a bit. You're going to use this. You're not going to use your foot because you'll just break the button. So let's get this set up here. And so this machine has 4 different zigzag widths. And so we're looking for this one here. I have found most of these buttons, I start with 5. 5 is pretty much where they're going to be. So let's start with 5 and see where we're at. Go, let's line this up. I'll try to get it as close as possible so you guys can see. And this groove here, where these blue ridges are, you're going to want the hole of the button to be right in between those, where you can see the hole of the button. Make sure it's straight. And I'm going to bring it back so that when I put the foot down, see how the holes of the button are right there? Let me zoom in a little bit for you. There we go. So I can see the holes, and they're centered on that in between the blue little ridges here. And then I'm going to use the hand crank, and I'm going to go on one side, and look at that. It dips down. Don't go all the way through because you don't want to actually do a stitch. And then let's try the other side. Go real slow. Oh, we're hitting the button a little bit right there. So then we're just going to lift up a little bit and adjust. Okay, so now it's not hitting on that side. Let's see, does it hit on this side? Oh, it almost hits. So let's try 4. Let's bring the zigzag back a little bit smaller, and let's try 4. Looks good there. And looks good there. Okay, so before you sew a buttonhole, there's one step you need to do here. I'm sorry, before you sew the button on, there's one step you need to do, and that's this plate. This plate has these 2 little grooves here. These 2 little grooves go right into these first 2 holes. And if it looks like kind of like almost like a little sad face, that's the position you want it in. So it's going to see that there, the little sad face there. See how those match? That's how you know it's in the right position. But this little tab here is going to go pop right into there. I'm going to keep the thread away. There we go. And so what that does, that covers up what are called the feed dogs. Those little grooves underneath is what moves the fabric back and forth. We don't want the fabric moving when we sew on a sew on a button. So I'm going to lift the feet up, and so the fabric's going to go right in between that, like that. Then we're going to get our button set up here. so that the holes are right at the opening, just like that. And so now let's test. Does it look good there? Oh, we're a little bit off. It's still a little bit too big, so let's go down to a 3. Looks good. And it looks good there. So now that I have that plate underneath, get this a little bit straighter. Now that I have that plate underneath, the fabric is not going to move as I sew. So I can just go real slow here. Let's try to get it to go real slow. And look at that perfectly sewn button. How beautiful is that? I love it. So then what I would do is bring a needle up through the back and pull these threads through to the back. And then you can tie it off there on a knot. You could also bring it halfway through here and then wrap it around right there so that you get more of like a shank on your button. But that's it. That holds the button in place, and it's really strong. I like using this if you're doing really, really big buttons and you want it to be sewn on there really strong so they won't pull off. That's what I like using the machine button sewer for. So there we have that. And then to get this off, you just kind of lift it. It just pops right off. If it's hard to get off, let me zoom out here a little bit. If it's hard to get off, use the tab thing over here to lift the foot. Watch, the foot can go way higher. See how much higher that can go? That way you can just pull that off. And then again, to get rid of this foot, I'm going to drop the foot down, hold it, and then lift that lever up. And the foot comes right off, just like that. Very easy to use. The last foot that it comes with is a zipper foot. And you can see the metal bar here. You're gonna choose which side you want this to go on. You can make it go towards the left here. Just like that. You can have it click on to there, or you can have it click onto this side. So let's do this side first. So I'm just going to drop it down so that it picks it up. And then you can see, you always want to double check your needle and make sure that your needle is not hitting the foot before you start sewing. So with this machine, you're going to use this hand crank quite a bit. We're on zigzag, so let me zoom out here so that you can see. You definitely don't want to be on any of these stitches when you start sewing with the zipper foot. So here's your straight stitches. And then you can see here, zoom in just a little bit more. There we go. So you can see here, it's showing the needle position. These are all in the center. That's showing the opening of where your needle goes in. And these are all the center. And then you'll see this 11, it's off to the left. So I like to sew zippers at right about an 8. This is changing. You see these little dots, how they get tinier and then they get longer. This is showing how long the stitch is. So this is a tiny little tight stitch. We don't need it to be quite that tight for a zipper. So I like 8. It's a good middle ground. And then I know that needle is going to stay in the center. And I think that's just so much better than trying to do it like where the 11 was. So now let's get set up here so that you can see. Grab my zipper. And so here we go. Of course, I'm just using a scrap of fabric here. So this is going to show you how to sew very, very close using the zipper foot. So just to give you the idea of how close you can get with this. Let's get it lined up there. There we go. And so then I would do a little back and forth stay stitch. And then we can just there we go. And then always end by cranking the side wheel so that your needle is all the way in the top position. This machine has this handy little cutter on the side. So you can just cut the thread just like that. And And then there's our zipper. Sewn really close to the edge. Of course, if it was a real project, I would use matching thread, but that just gives you the idea of how that works. And then if you wanted to do the other side, you can just put it down, hold it down, lift up the foot, move it to the other side. And that's how I would sew this side. You can see that you can just sew one direction, switch it, sew the other direction very easily. So that's the feet for this. Let me back up and show you again. The Brother LX3817. I hope that answered your questions. I know someone mentioned that this machine didn't work for them. If you let me know any specifics of what problems you were having with it, I might be able to help you with that, because I've found this machine to be really great. It seems to be very reliable. You just have to understand how it works. It's simplified so that you don't have extra dials to change your stitch length and your stitched width. It kind of does it all in one here, which I think is really nice. I think it's fast and easy to just turn the wheel and start sewing. It also has special stitches. This one here I really like. Yeah, that's pretty common. Zahari, thank you so much for commenting. Really, you have to just understand how it works. And if it jams a lot, you might want to check, make sure your tension is good, make sure it's threaded correctly. I did a video recently showing how to thread it. There's some little differences on this machine that some of the parts on the top to thread the machine are actually when you're winding the bobbin, and then you don't want to do those when you thread the machine. I've seen a lot that use the bobbin winding threading spots to regular sew, and that sometimes that's a problem that can make it jam. Okay, yeah, I understand. Well, this machine, as long as you have it threaded correctly, I've found that it seems to work very good. But not every machine is for every person. It kind of depends on what projects you're using it for as well. But if you have any questions on any other machine, let me know, and I can help you kind of work through some of the difficulties. But this one seems to be really good. It also has this adjustment here that you can change that zigzag to be tighter or looser. Hi, welcome. Thank you, MK. Thank you for visiting. So good, a really good, simple machine. I like this machine that it does the buttonholes too. It's a cool little machine. Like I said, I have the video that I uploaded that shows exactly how to wind a bobbin, how to thread the machine, and oh, good. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you so much. Glad you like this little tutorial on showing this machine. I'm going to be uploading more videos on more detail on how to wind the bobbin and how to use all these different feet for this cool little machine. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll probably be going live next weekend. So think of any questions that you have. I'd be happy to answer them. And again, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Zahari. Thanks for asking questions and everything. That was really fun. You made it fun today. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.